Hi! In this video, you'll be learning how to balance chemical equations. I'll be teaching you simple and easy steps to follow in balancing chemical equations. Plus, at the end of the lesson, I'll be giving you a set of problems that you can solve on your own. And then later, I'll give you the answers to these problems. So let's start! So here's an equation with aluminum and oxygen on the left side, which is called the reactant side, and Al2O3 on the right side, which is called the product side. So the first thing that we need to do is to list down all the elements present in the equation. So I'm going to list them down below here in the middle. So Al and O. And then we need to write the number of atoms for each side of the equation. So look at the subscripts. They will tell you how many atoms are in the element. So Al has no subscript, so it means it has 1. So Al on the right has a subscript of 2, it means it has 2 atoms. Next, oxygen on the left has 2 atoms, oxygen on the right has 3 atoms. And then check if both sides of the equation have equal number of atoms. So aluminum has 1 and 2. They're not equal, so I need to think of a number that I can multiply to them that will make them equal. So I'm thinking of multiplying just the left side by 2 to make them both 2. So if I do this, I need to use this 2 as a coefficient of aluminum on the left side of the equation. So I'm going to put 2 beside aluminum. Next, oxygen on the left. You have 2 atoms, and on the right 3. I need to multiply this side by 3, the right side by 3, and the product side, the left side by 3, and the product side by 2. And then if I put a coefficient of 3 here, that means I need to write that coefficient here. I put a number of 2 here on the right. I need to look for the term with oxygen on the right, and this means it's the whole term. Need to put number 2 before the whole term. So this also alters the other elements in the whole term. Remember that coefficients multiply to each variable in the term. So this means I have 2 times aluminum, so 2 times 2, I have 4 aluminum atoms. And 2 times 3, I have 6 oxygen atoms. So aluminum is changed. I need to make them both 4. So I do that by multiplying this by 2 again. So that means I need a coefficient of 2 times 2. That needs to be 4. Oops. And then we have to check the whole equation. You have 4 aluminum atoms on the left on the reactant side, 2 times 2, 4 aluminum atoms on the right, 3 oxygen, 3 times 2, 3 times 2, 6 oxygen atoms on the left, and then 2 times 3, 6 oxygen atoms on the right. Let's try to balance another equation. So same thing, I need to list down all the elements present. I have Au, and there's S, and there's H. So there are 2 Au atoms on the left side, 1 Au atom on the right, 3 S atoms on the left, 1 on the right, 2 H atoms on the left, and 2 on the right. And then I need to balance Au. I need to multiply this side by 2, and then look for Au on the right side and put a coefficient of 2. Then I need to multiply S on the right side by 3 to make them equal, and then look for S on the right side, on the product side, and put a coefficient of 3. Remember that you can never put coefficients in the middle of the term. And then this changes the number of H atoms, because S and H are in one term. So this means I have 3 times 2H, so now I have 6 H atoms. And then I need to make H balance, make this part equal. So 2 times 3, I need to put the coefficient of 3 on the left side where H is. So 3. And then check if the equation is balanced. I have 2 AU atoms on the left, 2 on the right, 3 S atoms on the left, 3 on the right, 6 H atoms on the left, 6 on the right. And the equation is balanced. One of the rules in balancing chemical equation is to always use the smallest whole number as coefficients. But sometimes it's easy to use decimals like 0.25 or 0.5. So I will demonstrate how it is used in balancing chemical equations. So I have here SP and I. There's one SB on the right, 2 I's, 3 I's. And then SP is balanced, I is not. So, well, we can simply multiply this by 3 and the other side by 2. But for this problem, I'm gonna multiply this by 1.5. Because multiplying 2 by 1.5 makes it 3, right? So if I multiply it by 1.5, I'm going to put 1.5 in the equation as a coefficient in the term where I is. And then this makes the whole equation balanced, right? Okay, but I'm going to multiply the whole thing by 2. And I'm going to erase this. And my final balanced equation is 2SP plus 1.5 I2 is equal to 2SP I3. So you are multiplying 2 to each term of the equation. Another technique in balancing equations is to treat polyatomic ions as one. So in this equation, I have the polyatomic ion PO4. Let's start balancing. So we have Ca, Cl, Na, and then instead of P, I'm going to make it PO4. And then let's start balancing. We have 1 calcium on the left, 3 on the right, 2 Cl on the left, 1 on the right, 3 and A on the left, 1 on the right. We have PO4. Since it's not enclosed in a parenthesis, that means you only have 1. And this one, it's enclosed in parenthesis and there's a subscript of 2, so there's 2 PO4. Next, calcium, I need to balance it. I need to multiply left side by 3. Look for calcium on the left and put a coefficient of 3. By doing this, I'm also changing the number of chlorine atoms. So instead of 2, we are changing it to 2 times 3 times 2. We have 6. And then on the right, we have 1. And then multiply that by 6. So coefficient of 6 beside the whole term, NaCl. I'm also changing the number of sodium atoms. So this becomes 6 And then on the left, there's 3. I'm multiplying this by 2 to make them equal. So 2 times 3, look for the term with Na and then put a coefficient of 2. Since PO4 is also here, you are also changing the number of PO4 atoms. Then you need to change it to 2. Let's check if the equation is balanced. I have 3 calcium atoms, 3 on the right. 2 times 3, you have 6 Cl atoms on the left. On the right, you have 6 Cl atoms. Na, you have 2 times 3, 6. On the right, you have 6. On the left, you have 2 PO4 atoms and 2 on the right. So this is the balanced equation. So now I want you to practice on your own. These are the equations that you can try to balance. Now these are the answers to the equations earlier. Did you get them all correctly? If you did, good job. If you didn't, and if you still have questions, you're free to ask them in the comment form below. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much in watching this lesson. Remember that you are free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you may also hit the bell button so that you'll get notified whenever there's a new video in my channel. Thanks again!